What does Amazon want in this new Pac-12 media rights deal? They only want one game per week, the top game, and that's it. According to SBJ Sports Media Podcast of this morning, John Ourand and Andrew Michon, welcome to episode 151 of College Football's Peek Around the Corner with your host, Greg Pflugar. If you love college football, if you need that little bit of extra content to get you through the day, subscribe to our channel, smash that like button, and share the video with your family and friends. Let's not waste any more time. Let's discuss the Michon and Ourand Sports Media Podcast, the latest show that was released this morning. We're going to put a link in the description box below our video. We advise that you watch that whole podcast of SBJ early this morning. We're going to give you the bullet points. Episode 74, Super Bowl review and the future of the NBA and Pac-12 rights. First of all, Michon and Ourand, they do the what's up and who's down, who's up, who's down segment early on in each one of their episodes. Who's up is Brett Yormark. They discussed the deal that they got Oklahoma and Texas leaving early. They believe that Brett Yormark did a pretty good job with this deal, helping the 8 current legacy Big 12 schools to make them whole. You can listen to that. It's really early in the show. But then they went on to talk about how the media company executives love Brett Yormark. They think he's doing an outstanding job. Everyone believes now that Brett Yormark outmaneuvered. That was the words that Michon and Ourand used. He outmaneuvered the Pac-12. And when he was doing so, when Brett Yormark moved up the scheduling, was able to move up about 18 months to start negotiations with Fox Sports and ESPN, there were people in the Big 12, according to Michon and Ourand, people in the Big 12 did not agree with Brett Yormark. They didn't think he should strike a deal at this point, that he should wait. Well, thank goodness for the Big 12 universities, all 12 of them. Thank goodness that Brett Yormark did not listen to the naysayers inside the Big 12. He got the deal done, and it looks like he outmaneuvered the Pac-12. Now, these are the bullet points going forward in the article about the Pac-12 media rights. Again, listen to the show. We provide the link in the description box below the video. Before they talk about the Pac-12, they talk about the NBA and who wants the NBA rights. And this is possibly going to affect the Pac-12 negotiations as they're going on right now. As the Pac-12 is they're at the 1 yard line, they're trying to punch it in for a touchdown, right? George Kliavkoff needs to get a deal done now. Well, it sounds like NBC really wants the NBA. They want to sell them on the Peacock streaming part of it, and then NBC hasn't had NBA basketball for 20 years. They want it bad. But so does Amazon. Amazon wants it. And Michon at near the end of this episode says Amazon might even basically skip out on the Pac-12 thing. They might just save their money for the NBA to try to get the NBA, part of the NBA package. Michon talks about how ESPN, looks likely that they're going to renew their part of the NBA package. So there's going to be an open battle between NBC and Amazon and Fox, potentially Fox. Okay, so the Pac-12 at the 41-minute and 50-second mark of this video, this podcast that just came out this morning, they discussed the current Pac-12 media negotiations. And once again, Pac-12 presidents, the fan base, the universities, they better hope that Michon and Ourand are about a little bit off on what they believe, their perception, the information they're receiving about what is going on in this current Pac-12 media negotiations. 1, ESPN, once again, ESPN is being more selective, just like their president said a week ago, what The Athletic has said about ESPN, what Brett McMurphy said yesterday on the Pony Express. YouTube channel, what he said about ESPN becoming more selective. ESPN's not going to go crazy over the Pac-12. Maybe a Friday night game, Saturday night game, but that's it. We believe that ESPN Plus will get the Pac-12. Here at Peek Around the Corner, we believe ESPN will get the Pac-12 third tier rights, the Olympic sports, non-revenue sports. It's going to look similar to what the Big 12 does with ESPN. There's going to be a Pac-12 now, Big 12 now. Basically, ESPN will pay for the production costs of Pac-12 network, arm of the Pac-12 network. When they produce the games that are put on ESPN Plus, ESPN will pay for the production costs. I mean, that's about it. That's what we believe here at Peek Around the Corner. Because later on, once again, in this episode that was just dropped this morning, Sports Media Podcast, Marchand goes on to say that Amazon is not interested in the tonnage. They're only interested in one game. John Ourand doubled down on it and said they're only interested in one game per week, the top game. That's it. And they're not going to go crazy with the money offer. They're not going to pay more than a linear network would. Amazon is just interested in that top game. John Ourand says it doesn't look good. This doesn't look good here in the media rights. The information that they're receiving, they believe Apple TV is a wild card, but they don't think it quite works in this environment with the Pac-12. Marchand talks about how maybe Amazon will just, if you listen to it, he says maybe they even kind of just go forward with just the negotiations, doing a huge offer for the NBA rights. Maybe that's a leverage ploy by Amazon. But according to Marchand and Ourand, it still doesn't look good. It still doesn't look good. Here at Peek Around the Corner, we believe the Pac-12 will stay together. They will avoid implosion at this time. But this media rights deal, like we said last night in our live show, if you missed it, you want to go back to it, last night's live show, February 14th. Boy, this media rights deal is not going to be good for the Pac-12. Can they even get to another media rights deal? We don't think so. This is not going to be good. Third tier content going to ESPN Plus, Amazon, the top tier games going to a streaming service, and they're not going to pay extra. They're not going to pay more, so Pac-12 isn't going to get more money for their top games than the Big 12 and the ACC do, even though it's going to be mostly placed on Amazon. If that's the route we're going here, the Pac-12 is in trouble. Can they survive? We think they will. But the next 6-7 years could be the death sentence of the Pac-12. That's what we think at Peek Around the Corner. Listen to the Marchand Ourand podcast. Listen to this newly released that just came out this morning. Hopefully, for the Pac-12 university, the athletic departments, those athletic directors, the presidents, the commissioner who's working on this deal, hopefully, from their perspective, Marchand and Ourand are incorrect in their assessment of what is happening currently in the Pac-12 media rights negotiations. But man, these guys, they're never wrong, or hardly ever wrong. So put down your comments in the comment section below the video. Amazon only wants one game, the top game, and that's it. ESPN, they'll take a Friday, possibly Saturday night game, and they'll take the third tier in the ESPN Plus. But man, it doesn't look good. Put down your thoughts. Stick with us here at Peek Around the Corner as we cover this story. We keep covering this story until next time. From all of us at Peek Around the Corner to all of you, please, you all take care of each other. Thank you so very much.